In this video, we will wire the Pentair Dynamic Torque Controller module for both across-the-line and soft start configurations. Warning: always disconnect the power source before working with electrical circuits. When performing electrical work, always read and follow the manufacturer's instructions and safety guidelines, and make sure to always follow your local electrical code and requirements. For this demo, we'll be wiring a 3-inch submersible pump. The pump has a 20 horsepower, 3-phase, 460 volt motor with a frequency of 60 Hz. For reference, the incoming power is 3-phase, 460 volts at 60 Hz. To complete this task, you will require the following tools and accessories: various wire sizes and colors to meet local codes, a pair of wire cutters, and a small electrical Phillips and flathead screwdriver. It is important to note that for across-the-line or soft start applications, you must have a forward and reverse contactor. For this demonstration, we will be using a combination forward and reverse contactor. We will begin by showing all of the common steps required to wire this unit for either a soft start or across-the-line configuration. Let's get started by wiring the supply voltage panels. First, remove the voltage supply terminal from the controller. With that removed, we can connect the main power from the breaker. From the breaker, you'll connect the black wire to the L positive port. Next, you will connect the white wire into the N negative port. And then you can connect the green wire into the E or earth port. This is commonly called ground in the United States. Next, we can connect the 3 current sensors into the ports labeled L1, L2, and L3 on the controller. Each current sensor is composed of a black and yellow wire, which means we will need to connect 6 wires in total. Lay out the 3 circle current sensors on the table with the arrows facing up. Take the first current sensor and attach its black wire to the controller in port L1 CTA. Then connect the yellow wire to the port L1 CTB. Then take the second current sensor and attach its black wire to the controller in the port marked L2 CTA. Then connect the yellow wire to the port labeled L2 CTB. Repeat this step for the third sensor wire, connecting the black wire to port L3 CTA and the yellow to port L3 CTB. With these ports now filled, you can place the terminal back into the controller. Now we can take each of the current sensors and attach them to the pump power cables. Because this is a 3-phase motor, the sensors can be attached to the motor cables in any order, provided the arrows are facing up. For this video, we will attach the L1 sensor to the black wire with the arrow facing up. Then we will slide the L2 sensor over the white wire with the arrow facing up, and then the L3 sensor over the red wire with the arrow facing up. With the sensors in place, you can now connect the pump to the terminals of the forward and reverse contactor. You can do this to either side of the contactor, but whatever side you select will become the forward side of the contactor. Attach the black wire to the 2T1 port, the white wire to the 4T2 port, and the red wire to the 6T3 port. Now, on the controller, remove the voltage reference terminal. Then, using a brown wire, secure it to the L1 VREF port. With the wire secure, you can route the brown wire to the top of the first fuse terminal. Snap the fuse terminal open to reveal the port connection. Loosen the port and then insert the brown wire into the top and tighten. Next, using an orange wire, secure the wire into the L2 VREF port. As before, route the wire to the top of the second fuse terminal and secure into the port. Finish with a yellow wire in the L3 VREF port. You can now reconnect the terminal to the controller. Now, we are ready to wire the fuse to the terminals of the forward and reverse contactor. Starting at the first fuse, or the L1 fuse, use a brown wire and connect it to the bottom of the fuse port. Open up the fuse and secure the connection. With the brown wire secured to the port, route the wire to the 2T1 port on the forward's contactor. Secure the wire into the 2T1 port along with the black motor cable. Follow the same process for the L2 fuse, using an orange wire and connecting it with the white motor cable to the 4T2 port on the forward contactor. Repeat the process for the L3 fuse, this time using a yellow wire and connecting it to the 6T3 port with the red motor cable. Next, let's run the signal hot and neutral that will flow from the ports 1 and 2 on the metal oxide varsitor, or MOV. Port 1 is where the run signal hot will be connected to the controller. Using a black wire, secure the first end of the wire into port 1 on the MOV. Then route the wire to the D1 run port located on the controller. Now we will need to run the run signal neutral wire. To start, secure a white wire into the MOV port 2. Once secure, route the wire to the D1 COM port located on the controller. Then, we will need to add a second white wire to MOV port 2. With this wire secure, we will route it to the forward contactor and secure it in the A2 port. Finally, we will need one more white wire, which we will also insert into the forward A2 port. With this secure, route the wire to the reverse contactor A2 port. Secure the neutral wire to complete this portion of the wiring. Now we are ready to wire the digital inputs. Using a blue wire, insert the wire into the D01 forward port located on the controller. Once secure, route the wire to the forward contactor and secure this wire in port A1. Follow the same step for the reverse contactor. Secure a blue wire into the DO2 reverse port on the controller and route and secure this wire to the reverse contactor in port A1. Lastly, we will need to provide the controller power. Using a black wire, insert and secure the wire into the 1+2 COM port. Route this wire to the top of the controller and secure it, along with the incoming power from the breaker, which is located in the L positive port. Lastly, we are ready to plug in the keypad connection. The red and black wire will be plugged into the left side of the controller, while the white and black wire will be plugged in to the right side of the controller. This now completes all of the common steps for across the line and soft start setup. We will now take a look at the steps required to finish the wiring for an across the line configuration. If you are using across the line, the final steps are to first connect the incoming power from the breaker to the forward position of the forward-reverse contactor. The brown wire will connect into L1. The orange wire will connect into L2, and the yellow wire will connect into L3. Then you will need to connect the run hot and run neutral wires from the control relay. Connect and secure the black run hot wire into port 3 on top of the MOV. Then connect the incoming white neutral wire into port 4 on top of the MOV. This will complete the tasks required for an across the line start. Next, let's look at the final steps required for a soft start configuration. If you are using a soft starter, then the first step is to make sure that the soft starter is 120 volts. If the soft starter is 24 volts, please consult the manual or contact customer service for additional support. With a 120 volt soft starter, you will need to connect the incoming power from the soft starter to the forward position of the forward-reverse contactor. The brown wire will connect into the L1, the orange wire will connect into L2, and the yellow wire will connect into L3. Then you will need to go to the soft start control box. After consulting the manual, you will remove the soft start run connection wire and route that wire to port 3 of the MOV and secure. Lastly, you will need to secure a white neutral wire to the port 4 of the MOV and secure. Route this white neutral wire to any neutral connection within your system. Finally, we need the controller to be able to communicate to the soft starter. To do this, we will need to insert and secure 2 red wires into the 05 ports on the controller. Route one of the wires back to the soft starter and connect this wire to the same terminal that we removed the wire from earlier. Once that's secure, take the second wire and connect it to a hot connection somewhere within the system. With these steps completed, you should be ready to configure the controller. Thank you, and have a great day.